They know every syllable of every word, which is what I came here to do. You start a song, they finish it. I start the next one, they finish it. I can do that all night.
Reportedly coming to an abrupt end due to his unexpected conviction. His followers are in disbelief and are attempting to comprehend how things went so wrong.
You're going to serve every kind of beer to everybody, and that's controversial.
Yes, ma'am. I think if you want division on this planet at this time, talk about unity.
In the past, they would pack arenas to hear his songs. The man who was once at the top of the music world is now facing a future no one saw coming. What happened that led to this moment? What will come next? As the news spreads, one thing is certain. This is not the ending anyone expected for one of country music's biggest names. Join us in this video as we unveil the details. Garth Brooks' sentence following legal battle. A lawsuit was filed against country singer Garth Brooks, accusing him of serious wrongdoing, including sexual battery and rape. The case, which was filed in Los Angeles County, was brought by a woman identified only as Jane Roe. She's a former hair and makeup artist who worked for both Brooks and his wife, Trisha Yearwood. The claims, which cover several years, have been described as disturbing and very detailed. The Wigdor law firm, known for handling well-known sexual maltreatment cases, is representing Jane Roe. This is the same firm that represented Cassie Ventura in her case against Sean Combs. Jane Roe's lawsuit says that Brooks used his position to control her, taking advantage of her financial struggles and mistreating her over time. The case describes many situations where Brooks is said to have behaved in an improper and illegal way. The lawsuit states that Jane Roe started working with Trisha Yearwood in 1999 doing makeup. Later, in 2017, she also started working for Brooks. The complaint says that in 2019, Jane Roe was struggling with money. The lawsuit claims that Brooks found out about this and saw an opportunity to take advantage of her. It says that he used his influence to control her. One of the first incidents mentioned in the lawsuit is said to have happened in 2019 at Brooks's house. The complaint says Brooks came out of the shower naked, greeted Jane Roe while visibly aroused, and then grabbed her hand and placed it on himself. He allegedly told her he had imagined this moment and asked her to perform a sexual act while wearing her glasses. Jane Roe says she refused, but stayed because she needed the job and money. The lawsuit also describes another incident in May 2019 when Jane Roe traveled with Brooks to Los Angeles for the Grammy Awards. It says that when they arrived at the hotel, she was surprised to find that Brooks had booked just one suite with one bedroom. The lawsuit says she did not have a separate room. The complaint also states that Brooks later appeared naked in the doorway, flexing his muscles. Jane Roe says she felt sick and trapped at that moment. The lawsuit claims that Brooks, who is over 6 feet tall and weighs nearly 300 pounds, used his size and strength to overpower Jane Roe, who is under 5 feet tall and weighs around 100 pounds. The complaint says Brooks grabbed her hands, pulled her onto the bed, and forced himself on her. The details of the attack in the lawsuit are very graphic. It claims Brooks held Jane Roe upside down by her feet and assaulted her in a way that left her hurt. The lawsuit says Brooks made her keep her glasses on during the attack, and that after it was over, she had to do his hair and makeup so he wouldn't be late for the Grammy Awards. After this, the lawsuit says Brooks kept behaving inappropriately around Jane Roe. It says he would kiss and touch his wife, Trisha Yearwood, in ways that made Jane Roe uncomfortable. The lawsuit also claims that Brooks told Jane Roe he liked the idea of his wife being with another woman and suggested that she could be that woman. Jane Roe did not respond to these comments because she feared Trisha Yearwood might blame her. The lawsuit states that Jane Roe suffered physical injuries from the attack. The complaint says she had pain in her neck, knee, and lower back and needed medical treatment. It also claims that she had to see her doctor due to injuries from the alleged maltreatment in Los Angeles. The lawsuit further says Brooks kept harassing her in the months after the incident. The complaint says Brooks would talk about his sexual fantasies while she was doing his hair and makeup. It claims he would touch her against her will. and when she protested, he got angry. The lawsuit says Jane Roe felt stuck in her job because she needed the money and was afraid of losing work if she spoke up. With such serious allegations brought against one of country music's biggest stars, what impact does the lawsuit have on both sides? Let's find out. The implications of Garth Brooks' legal battle. The lawsuit also describes Jane Roe's mental state after these alleged events. It says she was very upset and even thought about ending her life. The complaint also claims that Brooks used different phones and email accounts, some with female names, to send her sexual messages. One message, which is partly hidden in the lawsuit, allegedly shows Brooks accepting a nickname referring to his body and sending heart emojis. Jane Roe also claims to have recorded phone calls with Brooks. One recording from 2020 allegedly includes a conversation where she confronts him about telling his wife that she had seen him naked. The lawsuit says Brooks tried to downplay it and said Trisha Yearwood was not upset. Another recording allegedly has Brooks admitting that something happened between them, though he doesn't say exactly what. In this call, Jane Roe allegedly told Brooks she was scared of him, and he apologized. Another phone conversation allegedly recorded Jane Roe setting a clear boundary, telling Brooks that she did not want to do anything sexual with him again. The lawsuit says Brooks responded by comparing their situation to breaking into a store and realizing it was a mistake but hoping no one would find out. The lawsuit says Brooks told Jane Roe he still wanted to work with her despite what happened. He made a public statement saying that the lawsuit was an attempt to get money from him. He said he had been threatened for months and was being pressured to pay millions of dollars. Brooks claimed that paying any amount would make it seem like he was guilty, and he insisted he was innocent. In an unusual move, it was revealed that Brooks had already filed a lawsuit in Mississippi in an effort to stop Jane Roe from filing her case. Jane Roe's lawyers say this was a desperate attempt to scare her. Legal experts have pointed out that this is not a common legal move, since people are normally allowed to file lawsuits when they believe they were wronged. Some analysts have said Brooks's attempt to block the case was unlikely to work. Experts also commented on the way the lawsuit was written. Some noticed that it used very detailed and dramatic language, which is not common in legal papers. This led some to believe that the lawsuit was written for both the court and the public. These accusations could harm Brooks's reputation. As one of the biggest names in country music, he has millions of fans. Experts say his legal team is likely working with media advisors to protect his image. The lawsuit could affect ticket sales, music streams, and his overall public image. Jane Roe's lawsuit says she has proof, including text messages and audio recordings, to support her claims. The case is ongoing, and more information may come out as it moves forward. With the accusations now public and the legal battle escalating, how has Garth Brooks chosen to defend himself, and what strategies is he using to fight back? Stay tuned for more. Garth Brooks' response to the allegations and legal battle. Country music star Garth Brooks has responded to a lawsuit filed against him by his former makeup artist, Jane Roe, who has accused him of sexual maltreatment and battery. The legal battle between the two parties has quickly escalated, with both sides making serious claims against each other. Brooks has completely denied the allegations, calling them a shakedown. The situation has now developed into a heated legal dispute that is drawing significant attention from both the media and the public. The lawsuit, which was officially filed in California, includes claims that Brooks committed a violent sexual maltreatment in 2019. Jane Roe's attorneys have strongly criticized Brooks, claiming that he retaliated against their client by revealing her real identity in court documents. Initially, Jane Roe had filed the lawsuit using a pseudonym in an effort to maintain her privacy and protect her identity. However, her lawyers have argued that Brooks intentionally exposed her name in federal court as an act of spite and retaliation. They have made it clear that they view this as a serious issue and have vowed to take legal action in response, promising to seek sanctions against him for what they describe as an inappropriate and unjustified move. Brooks, however, has taken a very different stance on the matter. He has argued that he is actually the true victim in this situation, and that Jane Roe's lawsuit is nothing more than an attempt to pressure him into paying a large sum of money. Brooks has described the experience as feeling like having a loaded gun waved in my face. He insists that he is completely innocent of any wrongdoing and has made it clear that he refuses to admit to something he did not do. Speaking directly to his audience, he suggested that the legal process could drag on for as long as 2 years. He encouraged his fans to take a deep breath and hold hands and take the trip together, implying that he was prepared to face a long and difficult battle. However, he made it clear that he could not discuss any further details of the case, stating that there was nothing more he could say about it at that time. In that case, which was filed anonymously under the title John Doe vs. Jane Roe, Brooks's legal team argued that this was a necessary measure to keep the matter private and avoid unnecessary public attention. His legal filings referenced a demand letter that had been sent to him in July 2024 by Jane Roe's attorneys. This letter reportedly accused him of a range of inappropriate behaviors, including sexual grooming, creating a hostile work environment, and sexual assault. The letter also allegedly included claims that Jane Roe believed Brooks might have been planning to harm her. However, when Jane Roe later filed her lawsuit in California, she did not include any mention of this alleged murder plot. After Brooks's federal lawsuit was filed, Jane Roe's legal team reportedly reached out to CNN and revealed that the musician at the center of the case was Garth Brooks. In response, Brooks's attorneys have accused Roe's team of deliberately exposing his identity before the federal court had the chance to rule on whether the case should proceed anonymously. Brooks's lawyers have argued that this move by Roe's legal team was unfair and that it undermined the legal process. But with the legal battle intensifying on both sides, how will this case affect Brooks's reputation, his family, and the overall public perception of the country music star? Keep watching to find out. Public perception and the fight for reputation. According to Brooks's court filings, Jane Roe was once a trusted member of his team, but she later devised what he describes as a malicious scheme to blackmail him for millions of dollars. His attorneys have claimed that Roe turned against him only after he refused to provide her with salaried employment and medical benefits. Brooks has stated that the reason he filed his own lawsuit was to protect his reputation, establish the truth, and put a stop to what he views as an unfair and damaging situation. Jane Roe's attorneys have pushed back against Brooks's claims, responding with a strongly worded public statement. They have accused Brooks of trying to punish their client by intentionally exposing her identity, arguing that he had no legal justification for doing so. According to Roe's legal team, Brooks acted out of spite because he believes the laws don't apply to him. They have made it clear that they do not intend to back down, stating that they will be pursuing maximum sanctions against him in response to his actions. Meanwhile, Brooks's wife, Trisha Yearwood, and his 3 daughters have publicly shown their support for him. A source close to the family reportedly told Us Weekly that they believe Brooks's denials and that those around him find the allegations shocking and out of character. While Yearwood has not made any direct public statements about the situation, she did post an Instagram photo of herself and Brooks on stage together with the caption "Love one another" and the hashtag #TeatroVegas. Legal analysts have weighed in on the case, commenting on Brooks's legal strategy and how he has chosen to handle the situation. Many have noted that his decision to file a preemptive lawsuit was highly unusual. Some experts have stated that it is rare for a public figure to take such an aggressive legal approach, particularly in a case involving these kinds of allegations. Others have speculated that Brooks may have believed this strategy would allow him to handle the matter quietly through the federal court system before it became public knowledge. However, after Jane Roe filed her lawsuit in California, the case quickly turned into a widely discussed and highly controversial issue. Worries about Brooks's approach's long-term effects have also been voiced by certain legal experts. The question of whether his legal approach could affect future victims who want to come open has been raised. Others have also said that Brooks, a well-known and rich public figure, might have decided that a private settlement would be less harmful than battling the accusations in public. The case has also turned into a battle over public perception. Brooks's legal and public relations teams appear to be working closely together to manage his image and protect his reputation. As one of the most successful and well-known country music stars in history, Brooks has significant financial resources which he can use to fight both a legal and a media battle at the same time. The public's perception of the case may also be influenced by his standing and influence in the industry. The charges made in Jane Roe's lawsuit are extremely specific and vivid. She claims to have corroborating documentation such as text messages and audio recordings to substantiate her statements. She has also said that after the alleged maltreatment in 2019, she sought medical help. According to legal experts, if the case goes on, the quality of the evidence will probably play a significant role in deciding how it turns out. Analysts predict that as the legal battle continues, tensions between the two sides will only increase. Given that Jane Roe's attorneys are determined to hold Brooks accountable, and that he and his legal team are adamantly denying the charges, it is expected that this case will continue to escalate. Given the seriousness of the charges and the well-known parties involved, the case is already attracting a lot of attention and is certain to do so for some time to come. What challenges and decisions does Garth Brooks have to make in the upcoming months as his stay in Las Vegas comes to an end and the case continues to unfold? Let's find out what lies ahead for Garth Brooks amid legal battle. With the lawsuit still ongoing, Garth Brooks made a big and much-awaited return to the stage, stepping back into the spotlight at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace for the final round of his Las Vegas shows. Excited about performing again, Brooks shared his feelings, saying, "It's just too much fun. We can't wait to do it again." Over 3 straight nights, he put on shows for packed crowds, filling the room with energy while keeping an intimate feel. The country star gave his all, clearly moved by the emotions of his fans who had come to see him back in action. After these powerful performances, Brooks took a moment to talk about how it felt to be reaching the end of his time at Caesars. He said, "Finishing up this residency is a mix of feelings. It feels good to complete something big and reach your goals, but the hard part is saying goodbye to the people who have made it all possible. The staff here has been incredible, and I know I'm really gonna miss them. This has been such an amazing time." With only a few performances left before the residency comes to an end, Brooks is now preparing for the final 6 shows at Caesar's Palace. His highly successful run, which began almost 2 years ago, is now in its last stretch. As the final countdown begins, the country star is set to perform again this weekend, with shows planned from Friday to Sunday. These concerts will be some of the last chances for fans to see him live in this setting before he closes this chapter of his career. Looking ahead to these final performances, Brooks shared his thoughts on what it means to wrap things up. He explained residencies are a lot like tours. If you do it right, the last show should be your best one. That's what we're working toward as we prepare for these last performances. We want to end on the highest note possible. As he gets ready for the remaining nights at the Coliseum, he spoke about how he and his team feel going into these last shows. Each show has been unique, featuring different band members on various nights, as well as guest appearances from famous studio musicians who have worked on his records. His residency has also had plenty of special moments with his wife, Trisha Yearwood, as they shared the stage together for unforgettable performances. What is your opinion on the lawsuit against Garth Brooks? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video shown on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.